Guys, it's Miss A. So we are picking up on day 2 of our culture lesson. And yesterday, you guys had the opportunity to think about your own culture and then come up with your own definition of what culture is. And I showed you my poster yesterday, but I left the definition blank of what culture means to me. So I'm going to, now that you've had an opportunity to work on your slides, I'm going to show you what mine looks like. So if I go here, this is my poster from yesterday, and just a reminder from yesterday, we were talking about my culture, and I broke it down by the clothes I wear, the food I eat, and the games I watch or play. At the top is what was blank. So after thinking about my own culture, reading about the Kenyan culture, seeing what you guys kind of were thinking, this is what I decided culture is. I said culture is the unique characteristics that make us who we are. And in parentheses, I have country to country, person to person, house to house, family to family, tribe to tribe. And I talked a lot about this yesterday and about how important it is that just because someone's from a different country is not the only way we have difference in cultures. We also vary in culture from one person to the other, from one household to another household, to a family, to another family, and tribe to tribe, which we'll talk about with our specific culture we're going to be discussing today. So these are just a few things that I kind of put together as my definition of what culture is. And just a reminder that characteristics are the way we describe something or someone. So these things are very unique. It means very special to us and our beliefs and what we do to celebrate our culture. So before we get started, I kind of want to show you where we're headed today. So this is a Venn diagram, and this is just as a review. On this side would be things from my culture. This side would be things just on the Kenyan culture, and the middle is for what we have in common. So you see that I already have some examples here, but we're going to get into that after we read a little bit. But I just wanted you to see what your assignment's going to be today. You're going to have this on a slide. And as I'm reading, I really want you to be thinking about things about your culture and comparing them as we read to Kenyan culture. Now, you can be taking notes as I'm reading, or you can go back and pause this video at any time on the text and read it for yourself and take down notes, but this is our ultimate goal. So I'm going to go back to this page. So yesterday we actually read half of this page, but I stopped when we got to the specific things about Kenyan culture. So that's where we're going to pick up today and learn some specific things about them. And again, as I'm doing this, I really want you to be reading and thinking along with me, comparing yourself, your culture to this culture. So let's see where we left off. Music is very important to the people of Kenya. They use music to pass down stories about daily life, wars, and family history. The images on these pages show how Kenyans express their cultures through art and music. So what I thought was interesting, as I was reading this, I was thinking about my dad and his brothers. Music is a very important thing to my dad's side of the family, and they love to play instruments and sing. And so even though they're not necessarily doing that to pass down stories, they still share that love and importance of music. So that would be something they could put that they have in common with this culture. So I was kind of thinking that as we were going on. Another thing was I was looking at this photograph here, and our caption is talking about Maasai. That's the actual tribe that we are focused on in Kenya. It says both Maasai men and women wear colorful necklaces and other fancy jewelry. The color red stands for power. So as I'm reading about what they wear, I'm thinking about what I wear. Now, my clothes don't really look like this, but I do have one thing in common with them, and that's that I do like to wear jewelry. However, the difference is mine's not super colorful with the beads like this. So I might put that we wear jewelry as a similarity, but then I might say that my jewelry looks a certain way and theirs are bright and colorful on the other side of their bubble. So I've already found two things I could connect to my life and my culture, even though this culture is so different. So when I go down here, I thought this was super interesting. So it says wood carving is a popular form of art in Kenya. Now, when I think of art, I'm thinking of painting, drawing, clay, photography. Didn't really think about wood carving as a popular form of art in Kenya. So that might be something I put on our differences, that their form of art, some of it is wood carving. So you can see these beautiful carvings here. But I might put in common that art is important to both cultures. It's important to mine and theirs. So that could work in either bubble. When I go over here, I'm going to see the instruments that they use. So the drum, the thumb piano, which I had never heard of before, and shakers, which look like kind of like maracas. It says drums, shakers, and thumb pianos are used in Kenyan music. And then up here, I see that this person is singing. It says Bomas of Kenya is a cultural center near Nairobi National Park. Talented artists perform traditional dances and songs taken from the country's 42 different tribal groups. So you'll see that's why I include that on our poster, from tribe to tribe. All cultures are different. They vary a little bit from tribe to tribe. So as I'm thinking, like I said, I've been taking some notes here with my other hand, and you could be doing that as you're listening, or like I said, going back and pausing on the text. So I'm going to flip over to the other book I had picked out for us. And the first thing I want to talk about with the text feature here, this is the name of the tribe, but in parentheses, it actually spells it the way you say it. That helps you pronounce this word that may not follow the reading rules that we know. So this is Maasai. This is the Maasai tribe in Kenya. And here's a photograph of women from the Maasai tribe. And you can see that they are known for their beautiful beaded, colorful jewelry. And you can see their clothing, kind of all of the red that they're wearing, which means power, that I learned. Another really interesting fact was that lots of languages, there are more than 60 different languages spoken in Kenya. Most people who live in Kenya speak more than one language. Now that is super impressive, because remember, Kenya is just one country on the continent of Africa, and 60 different languages in that one country is so impressive. Down here, I see a picture of a Kenyan warrior. I have this caption that helps me know what that is, what a photograph of that person that is. If I go down here to this header, it says Kenya, so we're going to be learning about that country. It says Kenya is a large country in Africa. There are many tribes in Kenya. Each tribe has its own culture. Like I said earlier, it can vary from tribe to tribe. Music and dancing are part of these cultures. So again, I'm stopping and thinking, and I'm like, music is a very important part of my culture, and dancing. I mean, I know you guys dance on TikTok and other things like that. That is definitely something I may put in the center of my bubble. Are part of these cultures. Each tribe loves to share stories too. You absolutely may have someone in your family who loves to share stories of maybe the old days or when they were younger. So that could be something that is important in your culture. If your grandparents, your mom and dad like to tell you stories, that's definitely something you may have in common with this culture. They pass down their beliefs and customs through these stories. You see here in this caption, it says, these Kenyans celebrate with dancing and music. We in the United States have celebrations, and at any celebration there's always some sort of dancing and music, for whether it be a birthday party or a holiday. So I could even take that we both cultures enjoy celebrating with dancing and music. That's definitely something we have in common. We may not look like this when we're doing it, but we're still doing that same thing. So we definitely have that in common. Over here on this page, it says Kenyans have many celebrations. Us in the United States have many celebrations. That's something my brain is still thinking. I'm jotting this note down as I'm reading. Tribes decorate their bodies with paint, feathers, and beads. They wear costumes. We sometimes wear costumes, play drums, and we dance. The start of the rainy season is a big celebration. So is, and again, we have another pronunciation here, Jamboree Day. This day comes every December 12th. It honors the day that Kenya became its own country in 1964. This is super interesting because we celebrate the 4th of July, which is when our country became its own country. So we celebrate the 4th of July. So they do that same type of thing on a different date. So speeches are given and people dance. A lot of people dance on the 4th of July here. And there are also feasts, which are big meals. We do cookouts, pretty much the same thing, and parades. This was a big thing that I saw that I had in common with this culture is that we enjoy parades. So I know that's a lot of information, but like I said, feel free to pause and come back to this text. What I'm going to do now that we've read that and you know kind of what I'm talking about with that, I'm going to share with you just a few examples on my Venn diagram. So I just started easy with something I wear. Okay, I wear jeans. And then I figured out what they wear from the text. They wear colorful beads and necklaces. This is definitely different. I can tell just from the photograph how different our dress is. So I saw those two things, and then like I said a minute ago, parades were something we had in common, but so was music, so was dance, celebrations. There's so many things that we can put here if you're thinking about them and pulling them out of the text. But these are just a few examples. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go on to the next slide and you are going to fill out your own Venn diagram. Remember, this is your culture. The middle is what you have in common, and this side is just for Kenyan culture. So you're really going to need that text and your notes to fill in this side, and probably this as well. So go ahead and go check that out, and I can't wait to see what you guys are thinking.